Christine Gacharná is the author of Write My College Application Essay, that's RIGHT, a hands-on workbook for prospective college students. In this detailed guide, the author focuses on three main aspects of the essay writing process: communicate, navigate, and punctuate. With these and other guidelines from Gacharná, an English and writing instructor for the University of Phoenix, the college application process will feel formulaic and doable rather than just overwhelming. Kirkus Reviews called it, quote, a straightforward guide that makes use of the author's extensive experience, end quote. In this interview, we'll speak with Christine about her book. My name is Leah, and I work in the Indie department. Hi, Christine. Thank you so much for joining us on Fully Booked today.
Hello, thanks for having me.
First question for you is, can you briefly elaborate on the three core tenets of the writing process: communicate, navigate, and punctuate?
Sure. So what I find is that students come to me and they're often white-knuckling through the writing process, and they're not spending enough time thinking about what it is that they're trying to say. And so the reason I broke it down into those three sections is because I really want them to stop fretting so much over the punctuate. What I tell my students is paying attention to the grammar, spelling, and punctuation on the front end of your essay is kind of like putting toothpaste on your toothbrush and then taking a bite of cheesecake and then brushing your teeth with that cheesecake in your mouth. Like, it's completely counterproductive. Neither works. So I want them to allow themselves to get out of that habit of perfectionism and focus on their content. And it's really a struggle to get them there. But when I can get them there, all the light bulbs go off and they get really excited.
One chapter of your book discusses the 5 most common mistakes students make. Do you notice any one mistake occurring more often than the others? What is the number one most common mistake students make?
Well, you would think this would go without saying, but they don't answer the question posed by the prompt.
Do you have one line of advice for students who've made this mistake?
Yes, I make them tell me in one sentence, what are you trying to say? What is your answer to the prompt? Because if you can't tell me in a simple sentence what you're trying to say, I don't know how you're going to expect to write an essay about it.
At the end of your book, you provide some real students' college application essays. How and why did you choose these particular examples, and what do they illustrate to the readers?
Most of them illustrate some of the ideas that I've presented in the book. So there's one in particular that we really had to peel back those 5 layers of why to get to the answer that the prompt was asking. And then once she took that answer and put it through the formula, it worked really well. There's other essays that are illustrative of different chapters.
And what was your college essay about?
You know, when I went to college, I didn't have to write one.
My next question is, did you attend your dream undergraduate school?
As an undergraduate, I wanted to go to the University of Arizona, but at the time I got a scholarship. I went to college on what was called the Daily Fund. It's actually the oldest place-based scholarship in the United States, but I had to use it at either Oregon or Oregon State. I did my undergrad work in Oregon, and then as soon as I had that shiny college degree, I packed up my car and moved to Arizona because that's where I really wanted to be. And then I did go to grad school at the U of A.
Okay, nice. Do you have advice for prospective students who are anxious about getting into their dream school, or maybe hyper-focusing on getting into their dream school?
I do. I would say go into this process without expectations. I think it's the expectations that get people in trouble in this process. If you go into it without expectations, then there's going to be no disappointment and no heartbreak on May 1st. Because there's 1,000 ways to get through college, and there's 1,000 colleges out there. There's not just one college that can get you to your end goal, especially as an undergraduate. Students get really caught up in these conversations inside their high school, especially as seniors, where they feel like their self-worth is somehow tied to the brand name of the school that they get accepted to. And I really work hard to get my students to not buy into that, because that's not what this is about.
Just one more question, and that's, is there one major takeaway that you hope readers get from your book?
If I had to choose one, I would say, please don't brush off the importance of the free writing process, because that's where the best essays that I've read were all a diamond in the rough that was mined in that free writing process. Most students want to jump ahead and go straight to rough draft, but it's the free writing that really draws out of them who they are and the facets of what they need for this kind of writing. And they think, oh, I don't need this. But they do need it. That's where all the magic happens. So I tell my students 50% of the work is done in the first 2 steps, and I hand you the first step. So all you have to do is this second step to get a really, really great essay started.
Okay, if you're just joining us on Fully Booked, Write My College Application Essay is available in paperback on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.